TV's post-match pint show. It's the Spurs West Ham post-match pint, Scott. Oh, do you know what? It's going to be a frustrating one. Obviously, Nicky's doing the fan cam, so he's not here. We can't get hold of Dan, so it's going to be us three tonight. The trio, Scott and Graham. Scott, as always, mate, take us through the starting lineup, mate.
Changes tonight. Fabianski continuing in goal. Fredericks coming in for Ngaki at right back. Balbuena slotting in alongside Diop in the centre half positions, and Creswell continuing at left back. Rice moving into the midfield alongside Souček and Noble. Bowen on the right, Antonio up top with Fornals on the left.
Yeah, I mean, before we get into the game, starting lineup, as you said, Fredericks coming in from Ngakia. Ngakia looks like he played his last game for West Ham on Saturday against Wolves. What do you make of that whole situation?
It sums up our season, really, doesn't it? What's gone on now with him?
I think it should have been nipped in the bud.
Yeah,
months ago, rather than letting it drag on and on. But then that is, seems to be how we do things, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frustrating for a young player. I mean, I don't like seeing any player leave the club, especially a young, talented player like him. But you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and it's very frustrating that we've allowed a player just to walk out the club. And as I said, we've got 7 games now, we could have said to him, "Look, sign this contract, play to the end of the season, and then leave." But obviously, we've allowed him to walk out, and now it looks like Fredericks is our first choice right back. And on tonight's performance, I mean, we'll get to him. I'd probably rather have Zabaleta there, and that's saying something.
That's it, mate. It's go on, Greg. Go on.
Frustrating tonight, wasn't it? It was frustrating to watch.
That's the thing. It's like we started better than we did Saturday. So if you're looking for positives out of the game, that's one positive you've got to take. We started better. Sorry, the beginning against Wolves, we had a bit more of the ball. It just I don't know. Looking back over the game as a whole, we didn't actually look like scoring. Let's be honest. I know we had chances, we had half chances, and we hit the post, things like that, but. Just don't know.
Yeah, it's a frustrating game today because, I mean, as we were saying on the live watch along, that's the difference between a top team and a team that's down the bottom. We had a couple of chances tonight. We didn't take them. Tottenham took their chances. Right, we'll talk about the first goal in a minute, but I'm talking about the sort of like the second goal. You've got a quarter fit Harry Kane bursting through. And and our defenders didn't even look like catching them. But it come down to mistakes from Antonio giving the ball away. That's what sums up our season. Mistakes after mistake. And there's no passion, there's no desire out there. And for me, look, Tottenham, they weren't great tonight. But as I said, that's the difference between having top class players and players that don't give a shit. And look at Tottenham's bench, what they brought on. Look at the options they had. People slate Mourinho, but fair play to him tonight. He made the subs at the right time. He knew when the game was against West Ham. He made the subs, and before you know it, they're 1-0 up. And we had a chance to go 1-0 up down the other end.
Yeah, that's it. And that's a lot of carbon copy of the first goal against Wolves. We give the ball away. We don't press the ball to get it back. And
there's no real desire to get it back, is there? They just stroll around. No one.
Yeah, granted, I know we're skipping out the entire first half, but
I mean, let's talk through the first half. This is what post-match Pint's about. Let's start, as you said, the way we started against Wolves on Saturday. Oh, fuck, I just realised I ain't got a pint. It's because don't worry about it. I've got work in the morning, I've got to drive early, so that's my I mean, you look at the game on Saturday, Wolves for the first 10-15 minutes, we couldn't get the ball off them. Today was a lot different. The tempo was a bit different from us in the first 20 minutes. Could it be in Tottenham tired? It might have been. But we looked like the only people that looked a bit sluggish, probably Mark Noble. You see when he lost the ball and he hacked the fella down because he knew he weren't going to catch him. But Bowen was dropping back, wanted the ball. But once again, Antonio up there on his own, just like Saturday. As soon as our midfielders pick up that ball, they've got nothing to aim for. They're knocking it over the top. Antonio's chasing it. Even when he gets it, no one's quick enough to get up there with him. Bowen's working so hard getting back to get the ball. When for me, what Moyes has to do is say, right, Bowen, White Haller's out. You're my main striker, and then work around him. Put the players around him like Antonio to win the flick-ons.
Yeah, push him further forward. Push him up like a second striker to play alongside Antonio. Look, don't get me wrong, Antonio works his nuts off. And again, at times he's very isolated. But he's not really a striker. You know, he is a winger.
But he's having to make things happen himself, isn't he? Yeah. Like Ryan said, there's no one's getting up around him. I thought Bowen was one of the bright spots tonight, I thought, in the game.
Yeah,
he was the one player who got on ball and he was prepared to run at defenders.
Exactly, and that's the thing, and that's what you wanted to see. We were saying after the Wolves game, we didn't get Bowen in the game enough. We didn't get him on the ball enough, and we did it a lot. We did it a bit more tonight, but you know, I just don't know whether the way we're setting up at the moment suits the players that we've got. You know,
I've just looked at the stats, and Tottenham had 65% possession of the ball tonight, 15 shots, 4 on target, obviously 2 goals. We've had 10 shots, 2 on target, nothing. So there's not much between the chances and the shots on target. But when you've got a striker that knows where the back of the net is, that's what happens. And this is what I keep going back to. I know when teams are down the bottom, things don't go their way. And I mean, let's talk about the first goal, because I think there's a bit. We've seen the replays now. It is handball. The pundits in the studio have said that it's handball. That's what happens when you're down the bottom. Things like that go against you. And then they show the replay straight away of the Declan Rice situation at Sheffield United.
And Antonio at Chelsea as well. We had one.
Yeah, Antonio at Chelsea. Lucky enough, we won the Chelsea game. But if we go down by a point, that Sheffield United result could be massive. That VAR decision.
But that's the thing with the first goal there, right? It said in no way, shape, or form in what I think of handball is that handball. But they changed the letter of the law to say any accidental handball in the build-up to a goal is handball. That's handball. That goal should be ruled out. That's again VAR not doing the job. VAR was great in the first half when they ruled out the Son goal. Bang on, he was offside by the letter of the law. What VAR is put there for, but they've then gone on and missed that one. And that's the thing. The sucker punch of it is that the goal we had disallowed against Sheffield United that cost us that point, and then tonight that's the first goal in the game. That's all right. Yeah, we know we were tiring. We know we weren't playing that well, but not conceding that goal, you haven't got to try and come out and go and get an equaliser. You know, you've still got that bit of confidence going, especially as an away side. You're going into the last 20 minutes of a game still at 0-0. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we would have gone on to win it, but do you know what I mean? There's less.
Might bang on for a point, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we go in 0-0 half time. We as I said on the live stream, Scott, we was lucky. You know, well, we weren't lucky. It was the right decision. But we was lucky it was ruled out.
Yep.
So we go in 0-0. You think them players' heads will be thinking, right, we've got off there. You know, we've come in here 0-0. David Moyes had a chance to change it, but he thought, you know what, they've done well first half. I'll stick with it for the first 10, 15 minutes, see how it goes. Yeah. For me, I said we should have took Mark Noble off at half time. We should have took him off, maybe stuck Lanzini on. Or I don't see why. I mean, people slate Jack Wilshere saying he's injured all the time. But he's trained fully for the last 3 months. He impressed in the friendlies. He's sat on the bench for the game against Wolves. Why not chuck him on against Tottenham? Why not give him a chance? Because the one thing with Jack Wilshere is he knows how to pick that ball up and look for a pass.
Exactly. But the worrying thing is that a lot of players, you bring Wilshere on, right? I think half time may have been a bit too early. He ain't had a lot of game time. You know, I was thinking more 60 minutes. But the problem is bringing him on is a good thing because when he gets on the ball, he can pick a pass. But you need the players making the runs off of him for him to be able to pass the ball too. Antonio's getting tired. You could see that Antonio was tired. As much as I'm thinking him out because he gave the ball away, he's tired. Yeah, I know. As I said in the live stream, you still should bust the gut to try and win the ball back even if you're knackered. But when players are tired, you need to change them. You've got strikers on the bench. Whether you think they're good enough or not, They are strikers. Bringing on a player like Wilshere, you need players to make the runs. You've got Bowen. Bowen would make them runs to feed Wilshere. You know, Fornals, when he was another player tiring. Bring Lanzini on with Wilshere. You've got another player then that's going to make.
Scott, you can protect someone like Jack Wilshere because you've got players like Declan Rice and Souček around him to get to do the tackling, to win the headers. Yeah, exactly. Jack Wilshere's the player. He plays football on the floor. You see him do it at Arsenal. You see him even do it when he was on loan at Bournemouth. You know, the boy can play football. I know he's got his injury record and you know, but I think when he got 7 games to go and you got someone like Jack Wilshere on the bench, I think that's the risk you got to take. You got to take it. You can't just keep leaving him on the bench. And Mark Noble, we know. Look, you know me. I love Mark Noble. I love him to bits. But even I know that he can't play 2 games in consecutive days. You know what I mean? And he's played all night against Wolves. He's come off 70 minutes today. All right, we've got a week off now for the Chelsea game. But mix it up a bit. This is the difference between top managers and average managers. Because look at Mourinho tonight. He made the change at the right time. They've won the game. David Moyes sat on it and he waited and waited and waited, and then we're 1-0 down.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the thing. That's what we said. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to take too long.
Scott, we were sitting there on the live stream saying it was going to happen. The people in the chat knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
you know, and deep down, David Moyes probably knew it was going to happen. And you look at the bench we've got. There was options there, but they should have been made a lot sooner.
Yeah,
but I mean, by that point, Tottenham they were sort of starting to turn the screw a little bit, weren't they? By the time the
but we were still getting, like you say.
Spurs took off Dele Alli and brought on Lamela, pace, pace. Mourinho could see Dele Alli was looking tired, so he replaced him. David Moyes don't do that. David Moyes waits till they get even more tired until they can't walk, and then he probably thinks, well, I mean, but the difference is Tottenham subs come on tonight. They look for the ball. They want to make things happen. Our subs come on. I mean, we'll get to Felipe Hans in a minute. I mean, I'm watching him, a £45 million player apparently, jogging round half-hearted, not even looking like...
He wasn't getting close to anyone, was he?
And this is what I was saying, the difference with not having fans in the stadium, because if that was at the London Stadium, he'd be getting booed. If fans were there tonight, he'd be getting booed. He's probably thinking in the back of his mind, no one's going to criticise me. And this is what we're lacking. We're lacking fighters and players on the pitch.
And
I see it. He'd only been on about 10 minutes, and he was like, he had a chance to intercept. I can't remember who it was, made pass, but he had the chance was there to intercept it. And he's just walked, like jogging towards it. Whereas if you put a bit of effort, he might have won the ball back, and then we could have started something.
That's what I said. You see, when they're tracking back, Souček's further out the field than Anderson and overtakes him running back. And Souček's been on the pitch since the kickoff. You know, and that's where things are wrong. The fresh players when they're coming on should be working a lot harder than our players coming on do.
I mean, probably Tottenham fans will probably tell you as well. And I mean, if Tottenham fans are watching, they'll probably tell you as well. Their defence was there for the taking tonight. You know, if Tottenham would have been playing against 2 informed strikers tonight, they would have conceded goals.
Yeah.
But Eric Dyer was probably looking around thinking, I'm going to have a field day here. You know, I'm not even going to have to do anything to earn my wages tonight.
I mean, what we're saying about the not pressing, you know, did you see the chance Dyer curled just wide?
Yeah.
How much space did he have to run into? He ran about 20, 25 yards with ball for anyone even thought about going closing down.
If you look, there was a spell in the second half where we did press them and we created a chance from it. You know, and that's the thing. I don't understand that for a defensive-minded manager who's playing this defense, why are we not pressing the ball?
Because we can't.
We haven't got the legs.
We haven't got the players to do it. I mean, Declan. Look, Souček, I thought had a decent game tonight. I think Rice had a decent game. Fredericks for me was poor. He had nothing going forward. Balbuena and Diop up until the goal. I thought they were having a decent game. Yeah. Creswell in the first half especially was getting down, overlapping. Looked like he wanted the ball. He put a few good crosses in, but once again, he's putting the crosses in. We've got no one in there.
Exactly.
You move into the midfield. Declan Rice, decent game. Souček, decent game. Mark Noble, poor for me. Antonio, run his socks off. But you can run your socks off for 90 minutes. He ain't done nothing, has he? He hasn't. But
I think he only had sort of scraps to.
Bowen can walk off with his head held high tonight. I thought he had a decent game, and he hit the post. You know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I mean, look, Tottenham's a tough place to go with a crowd or without a crowd, but Tottenham at the moment. I mean, I watched them against Man United the other night, and I thought to myself, do you know, we could. Obviously, this was before we played Wolves, but I thought, you know, we could go there and give them a game. And for the first half, I think we did. The second half, we just looked so tired. We looked like we didn't want to play. We looked like we didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I said this in the preview. That's only their second clean sheet now in 15 games. You know, Eric Dyer, you saw him against Man United. He's so clumsy. He gave away a penalty and then another one that was overturned. You know, and he was there. He was there for. That's when you want.
It's their first home win in the Premier League since February.
There you go. It's typical us, isn't it? It's typical us to rock up somewhere and give someone a first win or a first goal.
We've lost 7 consecutive games. The last time we've done that, 2006. 7 consecutive away Premier League games, 2006.
That's what I mean. It's just not pretty reading, is it?
And this is what I said, Scott. Like we've won 1 in our last 11 now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to win 4 out of our next 7.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we were saying in the live stream. You can't sit there and say, right, Wolves are a top side, Tottenham are a top side, Chelsea are a top side. Right, we'll write them off and we're going to aim for getting points at Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, Villa.
How many times over the years have we dropped points in those sorts of games?
Exactly,
you can't be relying on it.
Yeah, and as I said, you put the performances in against every side. You know, we beat Chelsea earlier on in the season. You should be looking to repeat that performance. All right, I think Spurs ended 3-2, weren't it, this year?
Yeah.
We had chances to equalise in that game. So you should be looking.
We were 3-0 down in that game, weren't we? And we put Antonio on, and he lifted the crowd, and we got 2 goals within a space of a few minutes.
Exactly.
And it changed the game. All right, Tottenham won it, but at least we showed a bit of fight and a bit of passion. Yeah. But tonight, for me, Tottenham didn't even really have to up it.
No, exactly.
I think once they knew it went 1-0, it was comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing there. Teams know that against us. Teams, you look at that. You look at tonight's game. You look at Wolves' game. Teams know, right? Well, it don't matter what we do, so long as we don't give them a goal in the first 70 minutes, they'll be knackered by 70 minutes. We'll go on and get 2 or 3. And how many times we conceded in the last 20 minutes this season? It's becoming a joke.
I just think
when what seemed to catch us out tonight as well, quite a lot, especially in the second half, that little diagonal ball between the centre half and the fullback.
Yeah,
seemed to get turned an awful lot the second half through that, like because no one was going to press the midfielder.
It's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us to watch, and you know yourself, fans can affect performances, and it's frustrating that we can't be there. But we know that we can't. So it's down to the players now. But I just find we can sit here and you can criticise David Moyes as much as you want. But I said this the other day on Postmate, once them players cross that line, it's down to the players. It's down to the players to work for each other, and they're not working for each other. I see players letting other Tottenham players run past them. And, you know, you go back to, you know, a few years ago when we had leaders on the pitch, they'd be screaming at them defenders, screaming at them midfielders for not tracking their players. Now it just looks like they don't give a shit. They go 1-0 down, they put their hands on their hips, they walk back to the halfway line. And
everyone's looking as if to say, well, it ain't my fault, it ain't my fault.
Yeah. There's no players. I don't think we've got enough. How can I put this? Players that scare players. You know, you don't want to let your captain down because you know you're going to get an earful.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't got players like that. We have not got players like that, and that's the frustrating thing. It's fucking frustrating.
That's it. It just sums up the season really. This whole season has just been one big frustration. You know, I just can't now. I can't sit here and say I can see where points are coming from. I know everyone. I've seen in the chat and I've seen people saying it. Oh, Villa, Norwich, and Bournemouth are worse off than you. I don't think they are. Norwich are probably the only team that I know. Bournemouth ain't playing too well at the minute, but I don't think they're worse than we are, to be honest.
I mean, look, I understand that. Yeah, David Moyes has got to take blame. He's a manager, and the thing is, he can motivate you in the changing room. We don't see what goes on in that changing room. He might get them right up for it, but when I see him on the sidelines, I don't see that. So I can't imagine he does that in the changing room. And it also comes down to making the right substitutions at the right time, looking at your players, knowing who's tired. You know, if as we said in the live stream, Scott, if he would have changed it at half time and gone for it, you can hold your hands up and say, well, at least we tried. Tottenham were better than us tonight, but at least we went for it. You didn't see that.
Nope.
Did not see that tonight.
That's it. And this is the thing, is like having, with the system that we're playing, as you said when you come on the live stream, doesn't work. It don't work. The system don't work. We need to go two up front. You've got, as we said, you've got a Jetty sitting on the bench. Right? You've got him. You don't think he's any good, but he's a striker. He makes forward runs. You
got Silva sitting on the bench as well, who bangs goals in for the reserves. Left, right, and centre. I know it's under 23 football, but give the boy a chance.
That's it.
He might relish. And do you know what? Imagine him getting one. Say we lost 2-1 tonight. Silva come on in the last 5 minutes, got himself a goal. Imagine the confidence giving him a start against someone like Chelsea.
Exactly, but it gives him a lift, and it gives other players a lift as well. But that's the thing for me. We saw, even as poor as Perez was when we had Perez, he still come off the bench, put a shift in, got his goals.
I'll be honest, a half fit, or as I said, a quarter fit Harry Kane that ain't played for 6 months look a lot fitter than our players.
Oh, he left us for dead for the second goal.
And that's worrying.
You know what I mean?
That's worrying for me.
But and that's it. That's this is the thing we've got to address. If we don't play two up top against Chelsea, we can't go up against Chelsea and play the same system, trying to play for a draw or not concede. We're
running out of games. You've got to start going for it.
Yeah, we're running out of games, and teams like Brighton picked up a good point today against Leicester.
And they missed the penalty and all. They missed the penalty
exactly. And they're dragging themselves away. People were saying about, like, I remember a couple of months ago, when the season was on, it's about 5 or 6 games ago, Crystal Palace were down there with us. Looking at the table now, they're on 42 points. Man United are on 46. They're 4 points off 5th. Yeah, that's what it shows. If you get a couple of wins, the confidence grows, you move up the table. I can't see West Ham having a couple of fucking shots on target, let alone getting a couple of wins. Sebastian Haller, would he have made a difference in these 2 games? We'll never know that. That's something. But we need him back for Chelsea. We need a different setup against Chelsea. We need to go 2 up top, Bowen and Haller against Chelsea. And we need to, get that ball out the wings or thread it through the middle. And this is why I want to see maybe Jack Wilshere start a game. Maybe play a 3 in midfield with Rice, Souček and Wilshere just in front of him. Get that ball, get his head down and look for the pass. Yeah. Because Bowen will drop off to look for that ball. And that's what we're lacking.
Yeah. And the thing is with Wilshere, what you're saying, I know I was saying bringing him on at half time might have been a bit too early, but if you're going to start him, because even if he breaks down after 2 games, but you're going on to get a win, that win could be massive going into the last run of games of this season. Against Chelsea, we played a bit defensive at their place. We did get lucky at times. They wasted a lot of chances, but again, they are beatable. I think they're a better side than Spurs, and they will cause us a lot more problems than Spurs did. But we have got to change something. Something has got to change. You can't. If we go with the same 11, mate, there's definitely something wrong.
Yeah, definitely. The 4 goals were conceded. The goal difference now is 1 goal. 1 goal, and Bournemouth have got to play yet. Yeah,
that's what I said to you in the last one. We could end up second from bottom by the time we play Chelsea.
But maybe that's what we need, Scott, to drop into that bottom 3. Yeah. Maybe we need to drop into that bottom 3 to wake them up and think, fuck it, we need to start fucking. Well, they should be doing it anyway. But they might think. Go on, Greg. Go on, mate. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I know we're saying, we've got Watford, Villa. No, we'll be looking for points. They'll be saying the same about us. They'll be seeing us as the game where they can pick up points.
I mean, when I see my
So
manager,
we've got to start matching them to desire.
bearing in mind where we was at the relegation zone. This was yesterday. We're at the relegation zone, right? When I see the manager come out and say he thinks that it's going to go down to a final day shootout against Villa to stay up, that worries me.
Yeah,
that fucking worries me, because he should be thinking, I want to get to that game against Villa, even if we're 4 points clear of that relegation zone on the final day. We're staying up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'll tell you something now, if it does go down to that last game against Aston Villa at the London Stadium, we're down. They'll beat us. They'll beat us because they've got players in that team, even one player called Jack Grealish, who will drag them through that game. We ain't got that. And we won't have the London Stadium full up with 60,000 West Ham fans geeing us on. It won't happen. And that's what happened.
Yeah, that's the worry, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. It's really worrying times. Really worrying times. You know, we just need something to give us a boost at the minute, and there's nothing there seeing it. You know, there's nothing I'm seeing that can give us a boost. You know, it's got to be someone who's sitting there waiting in the wings, who's not been given a chance to come on or start a game and get a goal or put in a performance that you know lifts other people around them. But you just can't see that in a minute. You look at the players who you look to do that, in your Andersons, your Lanzinis, they're not. You know, as I said, Lanzini was a lot better today coming off the bench than he was against Wolves, but we need more. And I don't think some of them players want to give more than what they're giving.
I mean, look, let's just sum up this game. We'll move on and talk a little bit about the Chelsea game and what we can do to change and all that. But, I mean, to sum up today's game really is Spurs took their chances, we didn't. I mean, the first goal was controversial, but it is what it is. If we'd have scored that goal, we'd probably be sitting here now thinking, fuck it. But it's what happens when you're down the bottom. As I said, Harry Kane had his chances in the game. He missed a couple of chances, but when he went through 1-on-1, he buried it, and Tottenham take the 3 points.
And you know, and that's it. You look at the Fornals chance that he missed. You know, and that's what it all drops down to, the quality of the finishing. At the end of the day, they took their goals. We didn't. Well, they took their goal, sorry, because the other one was an own goal. But
I mean, since we've moved to the London Stadium, Scott, we said it, we've been there 4 seasons now. And we've had 3 different managers. Obviously, Moyes in charge twice. You know, when I look at the overall record of the managers since Gold and Sullivan come in, apart from one decent season under Bilic, the rest have always been shit. I'm talking about Premier League. I'm not talking about Championship with Sam Allardyce. I'm talking about, you look at Zola. When they come in, Zola wasn't given a chance. They sacked him. They got Avram Grant in. We got relegated. We got Big Sam in. We got promoted. All right, it wasn't great. We got rid of Big Sam. We got Bilic in. We had a decent season under Bilic. We looked like we was building something. They didn't back him. It was going wrong. Players let him down. Fans got him back. They reacted the only way they can. They got rid of Bilic. We got David Moyes in. We stayed up. Fair play to Moyes. But instead of backing him, they sacked him. And then they got Pellegrini in. They give him the money. Pellegrini's first season was half decent. Second season, once again, when it weren't going wrong, they've made that decision, but they've gone back to David Moyes. When we was in this situation when they sacked Pellegrini in November, they had the perfect opportunity to go out and get a better manager, a younger manager, and say, look, we'll get to January, we'll give you a bit of money, let's stay out this season, and then in the summer, we're back here. But they didn't. They went for the cheap option once again. So it all boils down to the problem at this football club is what the fans have been saying for so long is it's Gold and Sullivan. It's their own. I'm not. Brady takes a bit of stick as well, but it is Gold and Sullivan.
Yeah, that's what we've said for a while. You know, it's the wrong. There isn't a plan. There isn't a structure put in place. There's no improvement. You know, you saying about the good seasons. We had a half decent season under Allardyce when he was forced to play Saka and Valencia up top. And obviously, as soon as Carroll come back, he completely swapped it all around. So, that season weren't a bad season, footballing wise. But like you said, the rest of them have been awful, absolutely awful. And that's the thing. You can't. 4 years we've been at London Stadium. All 4 seasons we've been in a relegation battle.
Yeah, and we was meant to be moving to the next level.
Exactly.
We might
to be fair, they didn't say whether it was up or down, did they?
Yeah, we might as well had relegation battles at the Boleyn.
Yeah, that's it. And
just stayed there. You know, as we said at the time, you got nothing. No, I've got nothing wrong with the owners having a bit of ambition. Move to Stratford, say, "Oh yeah, we're going to back it," but they never done it. And we've been lucky. We've been lucky the last few seasons that we've stayed up. Maybe it's going to come to an end this season.
Yeah,
maybe it'll come to an end. And as I said the other day, mate, if this club goes down, we won't come straight back up.
It's going to be tough.
We won't.
It'll be tough.
This club needs sorting out from top to bottom. And at the moment, you know, I was willing to give David Moyes a chance when he first come in because I thought, look, it's not his fault. But when I'm seeing him say what he said yesterday, you know, if the owners sacked him tomorrow and they put Kevin Nolan in charge for the rest of the season, I'd probably take that. I'd probably take it.
Yeah, it's
and that's how bad it's getting. And that's nothing against Kevin Nolan. I think Kevin Nolan was a great captain for West Ham. But he's not obviously managerial wise, he's not got the real experience.
No, exactly. But the thing is, Moyes isn't showing me enough. He sort of press conference, his interview after the game, and he's fuming with the decision that the first goal was allowed. And all right, as we said, that changes the course of the game, but he did not do anything to react to that situation.
This is what I'm saying. Great managers react at the right times.
Yep.
Average managers don't, and they end up losing their jobs and taking teams down. And unfortunately, that's what's happening. That's what's happening at West Ham. You know, maybe thinking about it now, maybe they should have stuck with Pellegrini. You know, maybe they should have stuck with Pellegrini a bit longer. But it just seems like when people get on the board's back when we're not winning, they sack the manager.
Yeah. The thing is as well, you know, we've got the end of the season. We'll look back and then we'll know what was the right decision, what weren't. You know, if we get beat against Chelsea, we'll be in a very, very bad position. I think if we lose to Chelsea, we'll definitely be second bottom going into the next run of games. But it may, you know, they may turn up for the games against the Burnleys, the Newcastles, the Norwiches, you know, and then all right, fair enough. If their plan was trying not to get beat against these three sides and then picking up points in there, yeah, it's worked. But I just think 2-0 on against Wolves, 2-0 tonight, it's not breeding any confidence. And the problem is you want to get out as much as you need fight and a bit of desire to get out of these situations, you still need a little bit of confidence. And we're not getting confidence from anywhere. No one's growing in confidence. People going backwards. You saw that with Fornals' chance today, Fornals' chance against Wolves. He's a player who's lacking confidence. And, you know, this is the thing. Unless you're going to freshen things up and give someone a chance to go out there and prove their worth, you're just banging your head against a brick wall. Same tactic, same system, same players. You know, if
it's not working, you've got to change something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if your car keeps breaking down, you've got to go and either get a new one or you've got to spend a lot of money to get it working right. But we don't do that. We keep with the same shitty old banger and it don't get you nowhere. Yeah. We need to change something in that football club. We need to pray that we stay up this season. And then them owners, because they probably will be here next season, probably for the next couple of seasons, whatever, unless a miracle happens. But they need to make a big decision in the summer. And they need to think, right, it hasn't worked out with David Moyes twice. So he's got a contract. He got a 2-year contract, didn't he? So he get a nice little payoff. They say, there you go, David Moyes. Look, it hasn't worked out. See you later. And they go out and get a new manager. But they probably won't. They'll probably stick with David Moyes. And if we do stay up next season, we'll probably start the season shit and we'll probably be in the bottom 3 by Christmas. And it'll just be eat, sleep, repeat, post-match pint, repeat, moaning. And it just... And do you know what? I understand that football fans, you know, they moan, but you know, I hate coming on here and trying to be in. I want to be positive. You know me, Scott. I always try to be positive. I always try to find a positive from somewhere, but it's hard at the moment to find positives. You know, the only positive I can take from this season is that it nearly went null and void, and we would have stayed up. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. we pay a lot of money for season tickets and pay a lot of money to go away. You know, we waste a lot of hours going up them motorways, you know, giving up our weekends. And when the players don't care, why should the fans care? But they know we do because it's our passion. It's what we do. It affects us because we have to go and work tomorrow and take banter off of Spurs fans. We have to get it all week. Them players don't give a shit. Them players will be posting on Instagram later, them sitting in their fucking spas having a laugh.
And that, you think that's the whole problem with a lot of modern football. As we said, the players don't give a monkeys. At the end of the day, they're earning 80 grand a week. Exactly, that's it. You know, and this is going back to what we said about, you know, our wages should be, our players' wages should reflect on the performances that the team is doing at the time.
We said it on Saturday, Scott. You look at Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves have been in the Premier League 2 years. They are 5 or 6 seasons ahead of where we want to be.
Exactly.
You know, their season started in July last year. Started in July. And they look like, on Saturday, they looked 10 times fitter than us.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
They've got a young manager that who's got an ambition, who's got ideas. He goes out, he identifies decent players, really good players. Let's be honest, some of them Wolves players are good enough to probably get in the top 6 team.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Wolves are flirting around that top 6, but I'm talking about like some of them players could get in
the big boys.
Yeah, say like you could see a Neves playing for someone like Liverpool.
Yep.
You know, you could see that, or you know, they've got.
He's the sort of player you could see fit taking Aguero's place in the City side.
Yeah, they've gone out and they've identified good players, and their ball have backed them. And I look at Wolves, and I think we've been trying it for so many years. We had that one season of hope where we thought we could have built on that season from the Boleyn. We had at that time we had one of the best players in Europe, if not the world, Pint at that time, right? We could have built on that team. We could have gone out, but we didn't. And no wonder Payet, I know people say whatever he done behind the scenes, but no wonder Payet wanted to leave.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to match the ambition of your better players. And this is the same thing we're going through with Rice now. If we don't match Rice's ambition, he's gone.
Oh, Rice is, for me, Rice, if we go down, Rice is 100% gone. Even if we stay up, I think he'll probably go. And I've got nothing wrong with players that, because you look at Rice, he's been in the first team for, Bilic gave him his debut, what was it, 3 seasons ago now? So this is his third full season in the first team. He's 21. He's made over 100 appearances for West Ham, and everything relies on him. Everything falls on his shoulders. People are looking at Declan Rice when it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
Exactly, and that's it. You know, and that's you know, it's just not good. And the thing is, I've seen a couple of comments in the chat, and I saw it on Twitter before. When you look at the strikers we've had that we've sold going into sort of this season and things like that, and then what we're left with. You know, we've gone from having 4 or 5 strikers to having 2, and one of them deemed nowhere near. I mean,
Greg Hobbs has just said there we have a right to moan, Ryan. When did I say we didn't have a right to moan? I've just sat there and said exactly what Greg writ there. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm not saying that we ain't got a right to moan. Of course, we've got a right to moan. We pay our money. I just sat there and said that I waste hours going up and down this motorway every week watching West Ham. I've done it since I was a kid, you know. So everyone's got a right to moan. Of course, we have. We're fans. We all want to see our fans do. We know West Ham are not going to be a top 4 club. We know that.
No, but we should.
But we want to see our ambition of West Ham moving to because for me, the next level for West Ham is trying to compete to be a top 10 team every season. And then the next level after that is breaking into Europa League.
Yeah. This is the thing. When you look at it, I said this to in the live stream, I think, when you look at Leicester, you look at what Leicester have done over the past 5-6 seasons, right? You know, or the past 4 or 5 seasons, you know. They've had a plan from when they got back into the Premier League. They've stuck to their plan. You know, they struggled at first and then went on to win the league. Yeah, but they've still got a plan. That's why they're sitting in the position they're sitting in. Wolves come up from the Championship. They got their manager when they were in there. They had a plan. They stuck to the plan. They allowed the manager to build. They invested in the right people. And you look at with Wolves as well. The good thing he's done there is he's brought players in who fit the way he wants to play. But what he's also done, he's tried to complement each player with getting players in that understand the other players playing around them. So he's got a few Portuguese players. He's not like one Portuguese player, one Spanish player, one German player. He's plucked players in that will gel, will get together, if you know what I mean, and have a team spirit. And sometimes I think that what he's done there does help, having players that understand each other, in the way players play, in the way they live their lives, the way they speak as well. You've not got 10 different languages flying over the pitch, stuff like that. You've got players who are on the similar wavelengths to each other, and that's what's helping Wolves push along. You look at how many, like you said, Wolves started back in July. Yeah, all right, they've had the same this break, and I think this will benefit you. I can see Wolves going on to win the Europa League because they've got a good mindset, a good set of players, and a very, very good manager who knows what he's doing. And that's nothing that we have. We have just got a scattergun approach in the transfer market, a scattergun approach in who we're picking being a manager, and a similar sort of thing when we put the players out there on the pitch. You're the best rated player on FIFA. You're the best rated player on FIFA. You go out there and play. You lot sit on the bench.
You look at teams that usually qualify for the Europa League in their first seasons. They usually struggle in the league.
Mm-hmm.
West Ham, we done it. Burnley done it.
Yep.
Wolves have just taken to it.
Exactly.
Because their players, their players have got ambition.
Mm-hmm.
They want whether they want to shine on the European stage to get a move to a bigger club. That's no disrespect to Wolves, but they're still playing. They play for their manager. I see that on Saturday. They play for their manager.
Exactly.
We ain't got that. But then, if your manager's not inspiring you and you're getting away with it week in, week out, there's no real competition on the bench to take your place.
Yeah, but again, with Wolves, he's bought, like Scott said, rather than going right, I'm having I've got a system I want to buy, and then just buying big name players or players on the cheap. He's actually gone out and they've identified the players that will fit that system.
But
I mean, whereas we just seem to be trying to shoe on the system onto players. I mean, we haven't got the players that are capable of playing that system. It seems.
Yeah, I mean,
so why don't we adapt the system to fit the players we've got?
Yeah, I think we've got one system, great, and we stick to it. And when it don't work, we can't. We haven't got a manager that changes things, who knows how to change the system.
Yep.
Our players are not used to. You look under. I know I keep going back to him. You look under Slaven Bilic in his first season. He would take players from in different positions, and they'd listen to him. Look at Antonio. He'd play right back for Bilic. He'd give his heart for Bilic. You know. I look at players now. I don't see that. I mean, if you told someone like, I don't know, fucking Fornals to go and play right wing back, he probably wouldn't want to do it, and he'd probably throw a stop and probably want to get subbed off.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the thing. There's no adaptability in the players, is there? Let's be honest. Like I said, if they're not going to give their all, whether they're playing in their position they want to play in, but I just think it just comes down to the tactics. I really do. We need
to change the tactics because it's not working. So we need to adapt it to what the players can do.
Yeah. Well,
whatever that is,
back to basics.
Let's talk a bit about. Obviously, the game's done now. We've lost the game. We move on. We look forward to not look forward to it, but we'll move on to the Chelsea game now. At the London Stadium next week doesn't make a difference, really, does it?
Nope.
But what would you change for me? What would you change going into that game?
Well, hopefully Ali's fit.
Yeah. All right. So let's just say, would you Ogbonna back for Balbuena?
Yeah.
Or would you, because Fredericks don't really give me much confidence, would you change your formation and maybe go Ogbonna, Diop and Creswell as three centre backs?
I think it's a little bit harsh on Balbuena to drop him out. I don't think he had that bad a game tonight to deserve.
All right, Ogbonna, Balbuena and Diop, and then maybe play Creswell as a left wing back, Antonio right wing back, Haller and Bowen up top.
Yeah, it's tough. When we played 3-5-2 before, it hasn't really worked. This is the thing.
I think if we're going to do that, we need Wilshere in there. We need Wilshere in there to
play in behind
things happen.
Yeah. You know, but it's getting the work rate from the wingers. Creswell, I don't think defensively.
Antonio, run his socks off.
Yeah.
Antonio run himself into the flames.
If Haller's fit, I don't care what Moyes does, but he's got to get Bowen and Haller up top. Whatever formation he wants to do behind that, or whatever players, but he has to get them two up top together. He has to. Or even, you remember when he played when we played Southampton, he had Antonio and Bowen either side of Haller. That worked.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the thing. Is getting in the Haller is complemented by Bowen coming into the side. You see that, you know, they were trying to get something to work. And as I said, when you look at the performances, once we had in them last 4 games before the lockdown, the performances have massively improved. They've now gone 20 steps backwards. But is that due to the fact Haller's not in the side? And we can't get that connection that seemed to be forming between Haller and Antonio, and then obviously Bowen joining in with that attack. You know, because Haller and Antonio seem to be getting a bit of an understanding playing together. And Bowen coming in with his movement off the ball complemented Haller. You know, we were saying, crying out for Haller to have some support for ages. But with Haller being fit, does he come straight into the starting 11? Because he's
Bowen's a goal scorer. I know it was in the Championship, but the Championship was a tough league, and I think he was top goal scorer for 2 or 3 seasons in a row, if not the whole of the Championship. So give him a chance. Give him 7 games now, up top, even if it's on his own. Because you see tonight that half chance he had when Anderson laid it back to him and he hit the post. You know, when your luck's going your way, that goes on the inside of the post and goes in. It's just luck at the moment. But we need to get something. We need to get a formation. I mean, would you even maybe, all right, say he plays 4 at the back, would you even think about dropping Fredericks out and maybe starting Ben Johnson?
I think Ben Johnson, if fit, deserves a chance. You know, he's a decent player. The only thing that worries me, Johnson, he's been out for quite a while. You know,
but they need game time, and they're running out of games. It's like Jack Wilshere needs minutes. Yarmolenko needs minutes, but if they're not bringing them on as subs, you know, when we're 2-0 down today, he could have maybe brought on a couple of them players, maybe Ogbonna, just to get game 10 minutes under their belt, just for fitness. But I think with Ogbonna in the back 4 would make a big difference, because Ogbonna's obviously, I think everyone agrees, hammer of the year. And I don't mean this any disrespect to Ogbonna, but that shows how poor the season's been.
I get you.
That we've had to rely on someone like Ogbonna for most games, when Diop should be the one taking a step up because Ogbonna's been at West Ham for 5 years now. You know, Diop's meant to be the next up and coming centre back. He should be taking a bit of pressure off Ogbonna.
Yeah. But you got to remember with Ogbonna gives it all. There was that season where he played with that knee injury. You know, he kept playing and trying, you know, until we were safe. And then he went, right, I've got to go and have this operated on. You know, and we're saying that's the type of players we need to be seeing. Players that are going to put their body on the line to go out there and get us results and try and keep us in this division. And as we said, we don't see that. But I just think now, you know, you need to be looking at freshening it up. Even if Moyes is looking at the Chelsea game thinking we ain't going to get nothing out of it, then change it. Then change the players. Give players who have not play Yarmolenko. You know, play Ben Johnson. Put a Bonner back in. Play players. Give them game time. So when you're going into the games against Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, and teams like that, you then got squad players who have played game time, and players that you might chuck Yarmolenko in and stick him up front against Chelsea, and he has a worldie. You know,
I think fans, Scott. I think the West Ham fans would, if Moyes did change it up a bit, they would probably think, well, at least he's going for it. Well, at least he's trying something different. But if he sticks to the same shit, it'll probably get down to the last game of the season when we're already relegated and they'll play a totally different team. We'll beat Villa 5-0. And then everyone will be thinking, well, why didn't you do that 7 games?
Exactly.
It hasn't worked against Wolves. Every game is different. You have to go into every game different. You can't keep setting up the same every game because teams play different football. They've got different style players. You got to watch. They need to be watching teams like Wolves. They need to be watching teams like Tottenham, looking at their players, how they set up. I'm hoping that he's doing that for Chelsea. I mean, I look back earlier in the season, we was in a poor run of form when we went to Stamford Bridge and we beat them. And that gave us a little bit of confidence. So I'm hoping that the same happens next week we've got a week off now. The players are, working behind closed doors. They get their fitness up a little bit. Chelsea's going to be tough, but you never know. This is West Ham. You just don't fucking know, do you?
You've got to look at Chelsea, right, and the position they're in, and the transfer ban that they had is probably the best thing that happened to them because they're in a decent position, playing players that would not have got a sniff if the transfer ban had come in force. Look at that Billy Gilmore. Is it Billy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Scottish lad. Got put in against Liverpool in the FA Cup, had an absolute stormer. Went into the next game, absolute stormer, because the manager was confident in him and took a chance. He saw the player he thought was good enough. He took a chance. He put him in. In Gakia, we did the same. The manager saw he was good enough. He put him in. He took a chance. Why are we not doing that with Zande Silva? Why are we not doing that with Ben Johnson? Or other youth team players that are there? At the end of the day, the main first team players ain't doing it.
This is what I'm saying. You look at you just said right there. Lampard's doing it at Chelsea. Lampard's first full season in the Premier League as a manager. David Moyes has been doing this for what, 15, 20 years as a manager.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. We're going backwards. We're going so far backwards. We'll be in the 60s soon enough. And then again, I think I'd rather be in the 60s.
Yeah, let's do one stuff.
Yeah. That's it. But that's.
I mean, what's the point in having a big squad if you're not going to use them? There's no point signing these players if you're not going to use them.
What's the point in investing so much money into youth football to get these players coming through the academy to sit there and say, "Hey, they ain't good enough." We can't give them a chance because we're fighting relegation. Well, you're fighting relegation because the players
might be the ones that get you out of it.
But that's it. The players that you brought in the first place, you thought were going to push you up the league, are the ones that have got you in the relegation. So you don't think you're good enough.
Some of these youngsters would thrive at the chance of getting first team. And the good thing is they haven't got the pressure of the crowds. So they might take to it. They might take to it straight away. You never know unless you give them a chance. But look, sum it up. It's been a disappointing fucking performance again. Well, I say, it was only the last, 25 minutes when we conceded the goal, the heads went down. It come down to not having the right substitutions at the right time. Mourinho did. Tottenham take all 3 points. And their fans are happier tonight than what we are.
Yeah, that's it. And it's so typical of West Ham. We look forward to football coming back after missing it for 3 months. We come back. I wish it hadn't come back. You know what I mean?
It's one of them things, isn't it? It's what you get.
West Ham long enough.
Yeah, it's what you get as a football fan. You have your ups and your downs. We've had more downs this season than anything, but let's just hope we don't go down.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's the thing. And I need us to perform against Chelsea because I've got 4 Chelsea supporters in work. So, I need us to get a result there. I don't see the Tottenham fans in my work, so it's all right. But
listen, I do. I work with Tottenham. I can take the banter. I'll give it out if we win, so I can take it. It's part and parcel of football. It's why we love being football fans. It's what we do. Let's just hope that the players start turning up and showing a bit of passion and fight.
That's it, mate. That's it.
But, we'll leave that there. It's a late one tonight. Obviously, we've got to get up for work tomorrow. Nikki's doing the fan cams at the moment, so the fan cams will be uploaded soon. What we got coming up? We've got a week off now, so we'll have some content coming up. We'll have Friday Night Live. We'll be back. Friday. I'm sure we're trying to do something positive on that show. Try to put some smiles on people's faces, which we've been trying to do. We've got a few things coming up over the next week. We won't leave you without any content. Keep subscribing to the channel. We've got the Patreon running. We've got some things coming up for the Patreon viewers. All the link is in the description below. And listen, thank you so much for staying up this late, watching us. Thank you, Scott and Graham, as well. We've all got work in the morning. We're looking tired, frustrated. Yeah. So
not too early start, which is good. So
we'll leave it there. So thank you so much for watching this week's edition of Post Match Pint. One thing left to say, boys.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. Try and keep the faith. Awkward way.